Good evening, and welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Geats, episode 39, A New Ninetales World. So, kids, we have reached a new era. Ace has once again remade the world into its own image. Well, not exactly. He made a couple of new changes. The first major change, no more DGP. Gene, Q, and the rest of the audience, spectators, whatever, has returned to the future, to their own personal timelines, their worlds. Everybody except for two people went back to their world. Not only that the world has been remade, the grand exit, as I like to call it, has been postponed, has been stopped thanks to Ace. He also made another change or two, and the moment he said, I'm gonna bring back the DGP my way. And if you've been following my videos, I told you guys one or two endings that I assumed that's gonna happen. One of them being, he successfully rescued his mom and they live happily ever after. He still has his celebrity status and all that. So everything that he wished for up to now are still in effect. So his mom is going to be living the rich life because her son is mega rich and famous. And in the other one, I thought, what would happen, if Ace took over as the producer, and that he will remake the DGP into his own image. And, well, lo and behold, he is doing that right now in this episode, because after the defeat of Surel, he remakes the world. He is the new god of creation now, so he's following his mother's footsteps. Difference is he's not a statue. And he said that, we're going to change things. I will be taking control of this new DGP. I will turn it into my own image, so to speak. And Sumari is still in his world, and Sumari was wondering, why did you still keep me? What's going on here? I thought I was going to be sent back to my timeline, my own world. And Ace said, I still need a navigator. That's the excuse. So yeah. So we go to after the opening credits, we see Sarah and Neon meeting up, and here's the twist that Ace later mentions in a later scene, that both girls have their writer memories back, and it's weird for them, because how come I still remember my writer memories? Because after my ID core was destroyed, I shouldn't be remembering what happened until this point. So they're confused. And speaking of confused, Keiwa is in his apartment wondering the same thing. Like, wait a minute, the last thing I remember was looking at this dark sky, screaming like, oh, what happened? But he shouldn't remember that, because again, it's connected to his writer memories. He was about to transform. but he's questioning, like, how does he remember his writer memories? And then all of a sudden he has a surprising guess. And lo and behold, Michinaga with the moo sound effect, like, burst in, like, and Keiwa was like, what's going on here? Like, how in the hell do you know where I live? And Michinaga just comes in unannounced and just sits on his couch, mentions how nice his apartment is, and the same way that happened with the girls, the boys have their own conversations as to why their memories are back and it shouldn't have happened. So what the hell is going on here? I have to admit that scene was funny. And side note, how in the hell did Michinaga knows where Keiwa lives? And another question, like, what happened to the warehouse? I think now that he's lonely, like, Ace is no longer living with him. There's no point of living alone in this dark, dampy warehouse. So he decided, oh, well, I'm going to hunt down Keiwa and spend a couple of nights with him. Mind you, like, his sister also lives in the apartment, so I don't know how that's going to work out, but yeah. So as of right now, he's spending time with Keiwa. So now we go back to the waiting lounge, and Ace explains to us, the audience, that he has returned all writer memories. So he returned all the memories of all former writers. So from Daichi to the evil Munakuma to the wolf lady, everybody who has participated in the DGP has regained their writer memories. So that's one thing that he added to his new world, his new world order, his new DGP. Unfortunately, before I said, I would say the sad part, the reason why he brought back their memories is because I'm not going to be like the old DGP, these admits and all the higher ups. I will let the writers decide their own fate, whether or not they want to participate in this new quote-unquote tournament or not. So I'm leaving it up to you. So he's given writers and new writers freedom of choice. Then we get to the sad part. For the fallen writers who got their ID cores destroyed by Michinaga, unfortunately, even though he is the new god of creation, he himself cannot make new ID cores for them. So unfortunately, people like Sarah and Neon, they can't become copywriters because their ID cores, as of right now, cannot be restored. However, this is a theory coming. Since Sumeri has unlocked her goddess of creation powers, there is a strong possibility in the later episodes, mind you, we only have like 11 episodes left, now 10, Ace and Sumeri will have to combine their powers in order to restore all the ID cores that have been destroyed. So that's gonna happen. That's my theory. Or maybe not. Maybe it's not gonna happen. But it feels like Yuya is going through this theory of Sumeri and Ace combining their powers in order to restore the destroyed ID cores. Because as of right now, the only writers that are left in this world is of course Ace himself, Win, and of course Keiwa and Michinaga's, because there's only 2 ID cores that remain unbroken. So yeah, so those are the only riders left in this world. Even if all the past riders that we have met up to this point want to take up the mantle as a rider again, unfortunately all the cores have been destroyed. So there's no way that Ace can recruit past riders or hell, new riders to help him out in this new world order, because again, his powers has his limits. He's just mastering his powers, and then eventually within the last 10 episodes now, he will unlock new powers that he may be able to, restore the ID cores without Sumeri's help, but it's leading towards both of them trying to restore the ID cores. That's just my theory. And Sumeri was surprised she was surprised, because I'm like, this is different. Like, this is like, you're not the usual Ace that I know. Like you're restoring everybody's memories to, you want to create the world where everybody is happy, and like, that's your plan. And then that moment broke when Ace was like having his tummy growling. It's like, I'm hungry. Do you have any food? I'm not sure if it's in this scene or after, but that's something, whatever. So, and then we get this scene where this police officer gets turned into a squid and attacks the teenagers who were skating at the skate park. And Ace was like, wait a minute, squids are still running around? It's cool, I guess. We just have to eliminate the rest of the Gemotos, and then we will have world peace. And so he goes down there and does his thing. Mind you, now that he has his final form, he's going to keep using it until the very end. And of course, at the final episode, it's tradition that the final boss gets defeated by the first form, the original form. That's always been a tradition. But as of right now that he has his mega form, he will use less and less of the other previous forms that he has. It is what it is. After how many years of Kamen Rider I've seen, it's been that way since forever. I'm just letting you know. 52, 53 years, I guess. Anyways, so Ace transforms into his mega form. He quickly defeats the squid, but he noticed something weird, because as the body collapses, a mini squid just comes out from one of its ears and quickly dies because it got caught on fire. And the moment that mini squid dies, the squid that collapsed gets turned back into a human. And that's something that Ace was like, what's going on here? It never happened before, so what's going on? Let's see. And then after that, we get to see Michinaga and Keiwa. And of course, they get the runaround of what's going on. How come we have our rider memories? How come you're the only rider that's going around saving people? And this is where Ace comes in and explains everything to the point where he even offers them an entry in this new quote-unquote tournament. And he also said a disclaimer too, that you're welcome to enter. I'll give you back your ID cores, your drive, whatever it is, just so you know. you'd be fighting for free. So there's no wishes involved. So yeah, so I'm not gonna force you. You can think about it if you want. Whatever your choice is, I'm fine with it. And he ends up leaving. And the boys were like, I don't know if I want this. Because later on, they have their mini talk on what to do. So I'm not going to jump ahead too much. So yeah. Oh, and also, Ace also mentions like, hey, I'm the new god of creation now. And then does this thing and move on. And then we get this nice, quiet scene, I guess. Neon purchases a new house, and Sarah is there to help her, of course. And this is the first time Neon is living on her own. And she was like, oh, so where is the furniture? Is it coming here? And Sarah's like, Neon, you have to buy your own stuff. Yeah, you have to go to, the furniture store, the electronics store. You have to pay for everything yourself. And Neon's like, oh, I didn't know that. Because mind you, Neon has been living with her parents for a very long time. And everything has been handed to her. Now that she's living on her own, this is a different experience. And, luckily for her, there's Sarah to help her out. And I said this before, but I feel like I need to say this again. Neon's relationships with people, I mean, they click. Like, she is a people person. Every time you see her with somebody, she instantly clicks with them, especially with girls. And my God, the connection between Sarah and Neon, to me, it feels like they're more than just friends. They're more than just friends, more than just, the star and the super fan. They're more like sisters. So that's something that I've noticed with Neon especially, and just her and interacting with other characters. She instantly clicks, especially among the other girls. So I thought it was cool to mention that. So Neon goes and buys furniture, but that's off screen. So back at the waiting lounge, Ace has this talk with Sumeri, wondering what the hell is going on with these squids, because, like, what's going on here? I saw a mini squid and I killed it, and the big squid turns back to a human. That's never happened before. What's going on? And of course, Ace is trying to find the source of the Jamoto, because he realized that now that the evil greenhouse man and Azu 2.0 evil greenhouse man has been killed twice, but Azu 2.0, Ace assumed she went back to her world. So he was wondering, like, what is going on, and assumes that, well, the Jamotos are acting on their own now because they're a species without a leader guiding them and all that stuff. And then Win comes in, and to sum it all up, Win is willing to help Ace with what's going on with the Jamotos, assuming that Surel assuming that Surel had something to do with the uprising of the Jamotos, and Win will, be the one to figure out the truth. And they have their bro fisted thing, and they move on. Let's see. Yes. So back to Michinaga and Keiwa. They are right now so undecided on what to do. And Keiwa, dude, I have to say this again until I'm blue in the face. I don't know why Yuya writes that for Keiwa. But my god, Keiwa, your anger is misplaced. It's not Ace's mother's fault. It's all the DGP's fault. They're the ones who are pulling the strings on that poor lady's powers. They were abusing her powers. She had zero control over the wishes and what they wanted. She had zero control. So I don't understand why, like, well, there's no goddess now to atone for her sins. And like, Keiwa, dude, are you kidding me? You need to, like, your anger is misplaced. I don't know why you're still casting blame on Ace's mother. It's just so stupid. But okay. All right. So the boys realize that as much as they would want, let's say, to become writers, they know that it's not gonna be the traditional way, in a game way, where, okay, if I beat this monster, it would lead me to my wish and all that stuff, the traditional sense. So they're gonna be regular heroes, they're gonna get they're gonna save people with no pay. And they're like, I don't know. And Michinaga, like, maybe part of him does want to become a writer, but the sheer idea of having Ace as, like, the overseer, as his quote-unquote boss, is just it must be eating away his ego a bit, I guess. I don't know, man, but eventually he will become a writer, but just, like, he will say to Ace, like, you can't tell me what to do. I don't follow your orders or anything like that. I don't care if you're the new god of creation. I do this my way. That's something that would be something Michinaga will definitely do. So as the boys are still contemplating, thinking about whether to take Ace's offer or not, Ace and Sumeri return to the Squid Gardens, as I like to call it, to find out, okay, what's going on? Are we going to find the source here? And Ace found, like, body fluids from a Jamoto, like Jamoto blood, whatever it is. And then we get to see this mysterious stranger. We see this person just quickly walks away as Ace spotted that person. He tries to go after that person, but ends up escaping. So Ace knows that there's somebody out there in these gardens who is creating Jamotos. So he doesn't know the identity yet. And then we get to Keiwa again. Only this time, Keiwa is doing an application. And what was so great about this scene is that he wrote Kamen Rider under your skills. And I find it to be, like, hilarious and cool. Here's my job resume. My job was a Kamen Rider, saving people, destroying squids, all that good stuff. Hire me. At least he is not hunting down lotto tickets. At least he's not doing that anymore. He's filling out an application, updating his resume, and, he's doing his thing. And then all of a sudden, there's a squid attack. And then, so yeah, there's a squid attack, and he notices again what Ace has noticed. Like, Keiwa noticed a mini squid all of a sudden just latch onto some random person and then transform into a squid. And then, of course, squid attack. Keiwa does his best to hold the line, and as people are screaming and running away, and then we get to see Papa Neon. So Papa Neon is still on this earth. He never went to the future or anything else. He's somewhere, like, it looked like he was not even in the house. He was some random penthouse, whatever, and he noticed the squid attack on the news. So angrily, he gets on the phone and talks to the Japanese government, apparently. And to sum it all up, the Japanese government said, well, since the DGP is no more, I have no reason to cover these monster attacks anymore. And what makes matters even worse is that after this conversation happened, because one of the officials said, you need to be careful now because there are some secrets that may be revealed. And then all of a sudden he gets a door ring, and then we jump to the scene with Neon also watching the news of the squid attacks. But not only that, the news anchor was saying that, the police came into Papa Neo's home with a search warrant, and there's a possibility that his company may be connected to the squid attacks. So I think the government is shifting the blame into Papa Neon and his company. So he and his company are the scapegoats. So he is going to jail. Poor Neon. She's just watching and there's nothing she can do. And as she was watching, more people are getting turned into squids. And of course, she tries her best to do her thing. But of course, Keiwa and Neon no longer are Kamen Riders. However, it's not going to stop them from saving people. And then luckily for Neon, Ace has come to save the day. Does his thing, Mark 9 and everything, destroys the squids, destroys a mini squid, and the people are back to normal. Let's see. And speaking of Keiwa, he had a breather for a little bit. And then guess who shows up? Kermit the Frog in human form. And Keiwa was surprised, assuming that all the sponsors from the future had left this world. Nope, apparently not. And guess what? We get to know what his wish was. And it's a form of a visa, as he likes to call it. Because in that wish note, that wish card, it says, and I quote, "My wish is to stay in this world until he gets his ideal laughs." Whatever that means. So he is staying put until his wish is fulfilled. And Keiwa was like, what the hell are you planning? What are you scheming at? What's going on here? Because this is a different tone from Keiwa, because I assume Keiwa and Kermit the Frog were in good terms, especially in the beginning where Keiwa thought that Kermit the Frog shared the same values. He doesn't see him as a villain at all. Like, he sees Kermit as a gene, so to speak, not as a super fan, but just someone who he could count on. Obviously not after some shady stuff. But this time, however, Keiwa was like, why are you here? Why are you planning? And like he's giving this vibe that he no longer trusts Kermit the Frog. And with very good reason, of course. So again, Kermit the Frog is still trying to bring the Keiwa out of him. Like, he sees Keiwa as a potential Kamen Rider. He's just waiting for that other side to come out. And all the while, poor Keiwa is holding his own. And then we get to the next scene with Michinaga, and the same thing happened. Michinaga meets Azu 2.0, and Michinaga's like, what in the hell are you doing here? Like, what's going on? And of course, Azu 2.0 shows up her wish card. It's the same thing, except take away the ideal laugh to ideal despair. So she ain't leaving either until her wish is fulfilled. And Azu 2.0 was bragging-ish around that, the Jamotos are evolving and this is going to be a new era, I guess. And Michinaga's like, what the hell are you talking about? You know what's going on with these squids? And Azu 2.0 was like, wouldn't you like to know? And then, because, Azu 2.0 is the Jamoto supporter, so she would know. And lo and behold, we get into this cutscene of who was the mysterious stranger at the gardens. And it was none other than Daichi himself. And he's crazy. Well, he's crazier than ever now. He's not his usual self, his usual snake scheming, but for whatever reason, he is cray-cray. And he's behind the so-called parasite Jamoto, the mini squids. I don't know if you've noticed, but he has this weird paint job on the side of his face. And remember, Azu 2.0 picked up a cracked Sparrow ID cord that belonged to Daichi. So now we know that she brought back Daichi. And from the looks of it, I think maybe he has become a half Jamoto just like Michinaga was. However, if that's the case, this is the thing that I have a little bit of an issue here. Unless they explain it, but still. How come the makeup between half Jamoto Daichi and half Jamoto Michinaga are like how come Michinaga's makeup with the hand and the sprouts growing out of his hand was real and realistic, while Daichi, if he is indeed a half Jamoto, has this weird drawing on the side of his face? What's going on with that? Are they being lazy? Are they being cheap? What's going on? Food for thought. But hopefully later on we get to discover what's the deal with the paint job. We all know that he's a half Jamoto now. Or maybe he's a full-blown Jamoto. But right now he's acting like crazy evil greenhouse man. That's what he's acting like. So we move on to the discovery of the crazy Daichi into the last scene, because as Daichi, crazy half Jamoto Daichi, doing his evil laugh, Ace and Neon suddenly get surrounded by the possessed people and get turned into squids, and then the last scene, we get to see the ex-assistant of Niram, and we see this another mysterious stranger. The ex-assistant says to him, by the decree of Surel, he orders you to kill Geats and complete the grand end, and also kidnap Sumari so she can be turned into the next goddess of creation and statue, the process to repeat again. But the mysterious man knows that he needs to be careful around Ace because he is the god of creation after all. So he has to really plan this out. But he knows that his main objective now is to not only kill Geats, not only to complete the grand ending, but also kidnap Sumeri, get turned into a statue, and become the new goddess of creation. And then a new era of the DGP will begin if that were to happen. And that's the end. That's the end of the episode, guys. A nice first episode of the new and last arc. Daichi, like I said, he is back. It looks like as a half Jamoto, or he's just acting like evil greenhouse man. He's like, oh, and all that stuff. But it's just, again, the issue that I have is his paint job. If he is indeed a half Jamoto, how come the makeup team didn't do the same thing like they did with Michinaga and his hand? Why with the paint job? To me, that's just weird. And then the whole idea of Ace now being in control of the DGP, returning the memories of current and former writers. They're giving them the choice of, you want to become a writer? Okay, I have Sumeri give you the box. If not, that's fine too. I'm not gonna erase your memories because you haven't participated in this new tournament, which, by the way, there's no tournament as of right now. It's just Ace says, you want an entry? Just ask. That's it. But mind you, there's no goddess of creation. There's no wishes involved. Sorry. You'd be doing work for no rewards. And I mean, it makes sense for the boys. Even Sarah and Neon, they're like thinking about it, but the girls already said, I want to live a peaceful life. I don't want to fight anymore. That's it. But in terms of the boys, poor Keiwa, his dreams has been dashed because remember, his objective was to wish everybody back from the dead. But now there's no goddess, there's nothing. And also what threw me off as well is like, there's no goddess to atone for her sins. I'm like, dude, it wasn't her fault. She got turned into a statue. She had zero control. Keiwa, I love you, I really do, but your anger is misplaced. Stop focusing your anger on this poor woman who is now dead. It's over. Let it go. And then Michinaga, I mean, my God, he has no place to go, so he's crashing in Keiwa's apartment, and at least between them, they're forming a relationship, something that they never had in the beginning. And also, it looked like Keiwa has forgiven Michinaga for, doing the 300 pit thing. It looks like he forgave him. Because he never mentioned it. Why should I let you crash here when, remember, you threw me down this pit of hell and I got turned into bubbles? That's your fault, man. Also, I have my sister living here. I can't have a third person. But it's just still like, how in the hell Michinaga discovered his address? I don't know. So we have Ozzy 2.0 and Kermit the Frog and their evil shenanigans. We don't know what they're gonna do, but I don't know, man. Once the truth comes out of what Kermit did to get Sarah involved in these Rider games, Keiwa is gonna be very pissed off, and his anger will be shifted to Kermit the Frog. So we have 10 episodes left to actually see that. And also, there's a possibility that we get to see Keiwa's dark side, because in the preview, Keiwa gets a new form. How, we don't know, but obviously it's going to be directed to Sarah's disappearance or death. So, again, remember, Kermit the Frog's idea to turn Keiwa into the next quote-unquote Batman is to suffer through tragedy. And unfortunately for Sarah, but But hopefully, Tsumuri and Ace will combine their powers to grant Keiwa's wish to bringing back everybody from the dead, including Sarah. So it will be a happy ending. But I don't know. And the DGP, the old DGP, the old guard, is refusing to let this world go. They don't want Ace to have it. So they rather just come back, deal with Ace, finish the grand end, and then move on to the next world. And of course capturing Tsumuri. And then Crazy Daichi. At least he's doing something. Other than that, it's a good episode so far, and 10 episodes left, guys. I don't want to see it go, but man, why? But anywho, I'm starting rambling, so this is a safe bet that I'm gonna end this before it gets too long. So thank you so much for listening. Please let me know in the comments below. Did you like this episode? Did you dislike this episode? Just as a whole, what you guys think of the episode as a whole. If I miss anything, even though I have my notes in front of me, I sometimes miss a couple of important stuff. So please let me know in the comments if I miss anything and if all that good stuff. Also, one last thing before I jump ship is that, yes, I knew it, that the Mark III booster form was a one-time deal. We're never going to see it again. And I think that's one of the quote-unquote dents in the armor of the show, is that we never get the chance to see Geats in his Mark III form, his Berserk form. It sucks. I don't know why they didn't milk it a little bit and then complete the form, but to me, it was a lost opportunity. They could have just waited a little bit until they completed the form, but it was a one-shot deal, and unfortunately, we're never gonna see it again. It sucks, but yeah. I could be wrong. We still have 10 episodes left, but it seems like the Mark III was one day only. It sucks. I don't know why they rushed it, but it is what it is. Other than that, thank you so much for listening. If you like this, please give it a like. Please subscribe, because it really means a lot to me. And judging from this number of subs, you like my work. I wish I knew how to edit, but I don't have an editor, and it just sucks. I don't have any money, so it sucks. I'm just do what I can to survive the algorithm, and just it's tough to post like photos and all that stuff, because I'm trying to be careful not to get a strike, because it happened before, and I'm just being very careful. But other than that, thank you so much for the subs and for just listening as a fellow writer fan, and just thank you so much. I'm doing my best to talk with you, not at you. So in any case, thank you so much for listening. Give a like if you like it. Please subscribe. And if you didn't like it, well, thank you regardless. And just as a whole, thank you for listening towards the very end. I really appreciate. And I will see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!